Get set. We're riding on the
Clueless
Internet. Cyberspace set free. Hello, virtual reality.
Interactive appetite, searching for a website, a window to the world, got to get online.
Take a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the
Clueless
Internet.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 19.1 of the Clueless Internet podcast. I am your host, Alex, and I'm not joined by Howard this time because this is going to be sort of a special kind of episode. We're going to be recapping some of our favourite stories from Today I Learned over the past 19 episodes. But before we begin, I just wanted to mention that we've been uploading our podcast to YouTube recently. I think as of recording this, I'm on to like episode 13, 14. I'm slowly but surely catching up to the audio version. You can check the link in the description. And also we've set up a Discord community. So if you want to chat to us there outside of the podcast or anything like that, make sure to join that. Links, again, will also be in the description. But without further ado, let's get into our Today I Learned recap.
Sit down and shut up.
Today, I learned.
Shut up.
I learned.
Sit down, be quiet. Shut up.
Our first story is from all the way back in episode 1, where I spoke about Moondine Joe, where I actually just kept saying his name completely wrong. So enjoy that.
Shut up.
Let's bounce around. Let's go to that prison one. I want to hear.
You want to go to the prison one? This one's quite a long one, actually. This one is a longer one. Basically, there's this guy. There is going to be a guy in the story. Joseph Bolito. I think it's either Bolito or Bolito Jones. Joseph Bolito Jones. He was arrested with a couple of other people for stealing 3 loaves of bread, 1 piece of bacon, several cheeses, and other goods. I don't know what the other goods were, but I assume they were I assume they were of value, but they didn't mention them here, so I assume not. It was probably just something like lying around like a screw or something, just anything they could find. They were probably in a bit of a rush. But John's, like, he wasn't very polite to the judge. He was a bit of a dick. Did I say Jones or Johns? His last name is Johns. He wasn't very polite to the judge. He was a bit of a dickhead. And he got 10 years. He got 10 years for this, for just stealing bread, loaves, stuff. This was a long time ago.
Was that partly because he was being a dick? Though?
I think so, but this was also a long time ago. This is like in the 1800s. I probably should have mentioned that. He didn't just go to the local Tesco and just steal like a loaf of Hovis or something. It was probably a big deal back then. The town was probably starving to death, and he came.
Took me 3 weeks to make that loaf of bread.
Yeah, how dare you? Cut his hands off. I think he did 10 years. I think he did 10 years here, and then he got shipped off to Australia for bad behaviour. Because he seems a bit of a nasty bloke. He seems a bit of a nasty
stealing
bloke.
Everyone's bread.
But
prick.
When he was in Australia, he was probably stealing all the prisoners' bread. Like somebody just had 1 loaf of bread to dip in their little shit soup, and he's like, "I'll have that. Thank you very much." But when he got transferred to Australia, something must have clicked in his head or something. But he got released in 1855.
Nice the weather, mate.
Very nice. He got released in 1855. For good behaviour, and this is when
was he shipped back to England or was he released into Australia?
No.
Okay.
He was released into Australia, just given a bag, and I assume just sent out. As I say, I haven't read these articles in quite a while, so I could be wrong, but I have the links to everything for everyone later on in the.
We'll put them in the description.
We'll put them in the description and everything like that, so you can read up on them. And there's loads of comments to all these because these are all from Reddit. So there's loads of comments of people that add stuff to the story as well as the articles. But they released him into Australia, and he set up this thing where he started to steal cattle, and they would walk into like territory that was I guess they're unmanned territory, and like sort of no one really owns it. So he'd just sort of wrangle up these cattle and stuff like that, and just put them in a pen and put a ransom on them for the farmers to get them back. It's sort of like, I walked off your land. It's kind of on mine.
Did he actually own the land, or is it this bit's mine?
I don't think so. I think he was just like,
I like
"There's
it.
my name on it. I drew it in the sand right there." Oh, he's English. He wouldn't speak with an Australian
Nah,
accent.
mate, he's the originator.
But one of the days, a horse came onto his land, and he branded it. I think he branded it, or it was branded already by somebody else, and it came to the stealing. So they sent him back to prison. He was there for a couple of days, escaped, stole the horse, killed the horse, and then there was no evidence. There was no evidence. There was no evidence to take him back. But he did. He went back. He was in and out of prison. Basically, he kept escaping, getting back. He was like escaping with other prisoners, just stealing from houses, getting to. I think he travelled with someone so far that they went to the other side of Australia. I think they went to the other coast of Australia. They escaped and managed to get to the other side, but they were eventually
Is this before motor?
into Australia. And he set up this thing where he started to steal cattle, and they would walk into like territory that was, I guess they're unmanned territory, and like sort of no one really owns it. So he'd just sort of wrangle up these cattle and stuff like that, and just put them in a pen and put a ransom on them for the farmers to get them back. It's sort of like, I walked off your land. It's kind of on mine.
Did he actually own the land, or is it this bit's mine?
I don't think so. I think he was just like,
I like
"There's
it.
my name on it. I drew it in the sand right there." Oh, he's English. He wouldn't speak with an Australian
Nah,
accent.
mate, he's the originator.
But one of the days, a horse came onto his land, and he branded it. I think he branded it, or it was branded already by somebody else, and it came to the stealing. So they sent him back to prison. He was there for a couple of days, escaped, stole the horse, killed the horse, and then there was no evidence. There was no evidence. There was no evidence to take him back. But he did. He went back. He was in and out of prison. Basically, he kept escaping, getting back. He was like escaping with other prisoners, just stealing from houses, getting to. I think he travelled with someone so far that they went to the other side of Australia. I think they went to the other coast of Australia. They escaped and managed to get to the other side, but they were eventually.
Is this before motor cars? Is this when people are still on horses?
I think this is when we were back in good old days.
Jeez,
with horses.
that's a long way to go through the. Unless
That
they
is a
went
long
around
way.
the coast to go through the desert.
I think they might have. I think they got there somehow. Basically,
Yeah.
they had the iron will. They just ran through trees. He was caught again, and he was sent to this prison where they built a cell for him made with stone and lined with very thick pieces of wood. It was in Western Australia because the governor of Western Australia, John Hampton, said to Johns, "If you get out again, I'll forgive you."
What?
Like,
What an idiot!
because he's got confidence. He's confident. He's just like, if you get out again, fair play. Like, I would have been the same probably. I'd have just been like, fuck it, if you can do it again. Because
Houdini, come on.
he's escaped so many times that they've built this cell for him. He built, in the article, in the Today I Learned post, it did say that they created a whole new prison for him, which sounded way more impressive.
Just for him.
Just for
John's
him.
prison.
John's prison. Well, but it was just a cell in a pretty big prison already. But yeah, they said if you escape again, I'll forgive you. And they couldn't let him sort of roam around the prison or do regular things that other prisoners did. They sort of just
Put him in solitary.
kind of, yeah, they had him working by smashing rocks. Essentially, that was his work. He came out of his cell, smashed rocks, went back, like it's an honest day's work, and he was just smashing these rocks. But essentially, they never took the rocks away. They never took any of these rocks away. They sort of just left them with him, and
So he'd just like sneak away with a bit of debris in his pocket.
he's just, I am the rock man. I'm clear the rocks, and he's just like, shut up, get back to
This
yourself.
bit's mine. And this bit's mine.
But with that pile of rocks, they couldn't see his legs, or they couldn't see below a certain point.
What he was doing below his waist.
And so he was next to a wall, And so what he started to do was just chip away at the wall when no one was looking below his legs, because no one could see, because these rocks were just blocking him or something like that. So he just started to...
Someone's going to walk by there, though. How did he cover up the hole?
Because someone's got to bring in the rocks. That's what I was thinking.
Either that or there's enough rocks there to keep him going for a couple of years. But someone's going to spot that hole. He didn't do that in one day.
No, I think he chipped away at it gradually.
Someone's going to spot that hole at some point, unless they were just completely fucking incompetent.
Well, they were probably confident. They were probably like
Either
that
or
Western governor.
He probably just piled some rocks up in front of it and made it look like the rest of the rock pile.
I think he probably did do that.
Yeah.
When he wasn't working on it, he probably moved some of the rocks back. He's a master criminal, this John. Pardon me. And essentially, he dug a hole. He dug a hole in the wall and escaped. He escaped through a little hole that he made in the wall by just piling up rocks so they couldn't see him. He was, however, caught.
Immediately, they were just waiting on the other side. Heard this fucking chipping noise, mate.
Thought it was you.
Chick, chick, chick. What was that?
And the new governor actually honoured the previous governor's
Because he's an idiot.
promise. Yeah, for some reason, he's just like, well, fair play. Clearly, everyone's just an escape artist in Australian prisons.
It was clearly a joke.
Yeah, so and he honoured it.
idiots.
He honoured it, and he just he let him walk free. I can't remember it.
And then he stole all the cows.
Yeah, he just went back to stealing horses. They actually have a festival for him. He lived in a place called Moondine. So his name was just, I think his name was Moondine Johns, or I think that was his name. I think that was his nickname,
Yeah.
Moondine Johns. I could be wrong, but they now have a festival for him called Moondine Festival. But when I was looking it up, I didn't see an entry since 2016, so it could have failed.
Could be dead now.
I think.
Was it a fairly recent thing, or have they been going for like 100 years and now it's just dead?
I don't know, but 2016 was the last time that I could find it being celebrated. So maybe people just got sick of it. I mean, the guy did get freed in 1871, so it's a pretty long ass time to celebrate someone.
Well, I was gonna say, what are you gonna do at the festival exactly? Just like break your own rocks, rock breaking competition.
Who can
get through the wall quicker? Yeah.
Who can escape rooms? They could just
Wrangling
have
the
escape
cows.
rooms. They could have escape rooms, like just stick somebody in a cell with big lumberwood and just say, well, if you can't escape, you starve. Many dead at the Moondine festivals. Many dead.
Most are dead.
Yeah, pretty much all. I'm trapped in the cell currently. But that was it. That was Moondine John's
What
story.
a fella.
What a guy. They built a whole cell just for him and he still escaped. What a fucking legend. There's probably loads of prisoners that probably just want to do exactly the same thing. Talking about that, I've seen prisoners. Have you seen some of the prisoners who have like phones in there and they're live streaming to Instagram Live?
Yeah, there's some weird ass prisons.
I don't know how they manage to do it.
I mean, I know that they're going to be low security prisons. Probably. Or is it though? I need to do more research. But I imagine it's low offenders.
I would imagine so, because they'd probably check the cell every night if it's high security, wouldn't they? They'd probably just go, oh shit, he had an old Nokia. It's alright, he won't be able to do anything on that. He'll be able to play Snake.
Fucking streaming on Twitch.
Where'd this gaming setup come from? I traded it for food
For
stamps.
blowjobs?
I don't really know what they do in prison.
Blowjob stamps.
Yes, sure.
Believable.
Our second clip comes from episode 7, where we discuss a 175-pound black bear turned cocaine transportation unit turned store mascot.
Shut up.
I learned about Pablo Escobar.
Escobar. Oh.
So, in 1985, drug smuggler, which also he has an awesome name, Andrew Thornton II. What an awesome name.
What happened to the first one?
Good.
My kind of story.
He dropped large quantities of cocaine near Blairsville, Georgia.
Well, just like oh shit.
Out of his plane.
Oh shit. Not again.
He then jumped from the autopiloted Cessna.
My coke.
Well, it's called Cessna 404.
It's a little.
It's an
plane.
error. It's a little red one, yeah. It's a little sort of like stunt plane, and it sounds exactly like that until it crashed.
My coke.
But he jumped out as well. He jumped out after. I think he might have jumped out a little later, and left the autopilot Cessna 404 to fly itself.
Glide peacefully into a
He
small office
unfortunately,
building.
he unfortunately got caught in his parachute and ended up free falling to the
What, by
ground.
the police?
What?
Yo, freeze! Ah, falling. How did this happen? I'm frozen in midair.
Why are you in space?
Why am I not in space?
Police.
Space priest.
His body was found in someone's yard in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I don't know how far away Georgia is from Tennessee, but I'm assuming it's not close.
Hey, yeah, there's some dead guy in my yard. There was no coke.
Damn it.
What do you mean? I know nothing about no coke. There was no coke. He was just a dead body.
Unfortunately, the Cessna 404 crashed in Hayesville, North Carolina, 60 miles away. So
Jesus,
he's going
that
into
went-
national
That autopilot was pretty
60 miles.
pretty good. Considering it's not supposed to actually fly the plane.
I know.
Just keep it level.
Oh, well, it was autopiloting, wasn't it? So
Autopilot just keeps it generally level. You still need to pilot the plane.
Oh, but you did just
It
go
just makes
straight,
it-
wouldn't it?
A fucking hell of a lot easier.
It would just go straight, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't take much to knock it off course, and with no one there to correct it.
So it just must have been a very clear path.
I was just thinking, I'm just surprised that it went that far.
Not a single bird in sight. When they found his body, they found night vision goggles, a bulletproof vest, Gucci loafers, and a duffel bag with 40 kilos.
Going out in style.
Roughly $15 million worth of cocaine. So he had another duffel bag full of 40 kilos of cocaine anyway. So he dropped the other amount, I guess, to do something.
Oh, well, he would retrieve
I guess
it. He'd retrieve
I was
it
about to say he
later on
probably
once
would
he'd
retrieve it
landed.
later, yeah. Because that point
I'm
probably
guessing
cost piss all.
Yeah, I'm guessing he just didn't plan on
Dying.
eating ground so hard.
Eating dirt in a Knoxville backyard. But this story isn't about him. This story isn't about him. You can forget all about Andrew
It's all
Thornton.
about the yard.
It's about 3 months later where the large quantity of cocaine he dropped was found in Chattahoochee National Forest.
By
But they were empty
who found?
by the police, I think. Or it was found by someone and then the police.
Oh yeah, no,
reported.
totally empty. I didn't take the what?
But they were empty. And a 175-pound black bear was found dead next to them.
Oh my god! Yes,
He had apparently eaten all the cocaine.
and had a great night.
His stomach was literally packed to the brim with cocaine. There isn't a mammal on the planet. Well, he said there isn't a mammal on the planet that could survive that. The now retired medical
His
examiner.
hat was the size of a caravan.
Oh, this is going to be. Do you want to try reading these? Go
on.
Try reading that next bullet point because I can't pronounce anything.
Which one are we going for?
The one that's on the top of the screen. Is it got like?
Are we looking at until?
Oh, you want to look too? Oh, wait a second. Let me.
You should.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the one. The top
Until.
line, cerebral. You want to try that? Try that. You can do it. Howard.
Cerebral hemorrhaging.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, cerebral hemorrhaging, respiratory failure, hypothermia, renal failure, heart failure, stroke. You name it, that bear had it.
Well, there you go. That bear. I thought I'd let you take that one. But instead of so after that, the examiner, the medical examiner, I think, had it stuffed.
I was going to say, this is a once-in-a-lifetime bear.
Yeah, well, it said
The
that.
look on its face when it died. Just pure ecstasy.
And dead.
No, coke.
But instead of burying it and cremating it, he stuffed it, dude.
He stuffed it with
Cocaine.
and threw it out of a fucking settlement.
He just threw it out of his 2-story window.
He would have wanted it this way.
He gifted it to the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area.
That's nice.
But unfortunately, it was moved around multiple times since 1986.
Moved around or it
Moved
moved
around.
around of its owner, Ghost Bear.
Well, it got moved from the Chattahoochee River National Recreation after the area had threats of wildfire. It was moved to a warehouse in Dalton. Then it was purchased by singer-songwriter Waylon Jennings, who is apparently a very famous folk or
I think I recognise
country singer. He then gave it to Ron Thompson, I think as a gift, because I think he realised that it was stolen. I think it was stolen from the Dalton warehouse.
Who's Ron Thompson?
This is some guy.
He's a Kentucky native turned hustler in Las Vegas.
This is some guy. Hey, I'm some guy.
Until 2009, when Thompson died, and Zhu Tang, I hope I'm saying that right, Zhu Tang, a Chinese guy who...
Yeah, I'm just some guy.
It said a Chinese gentleman with no other description. He bought it for $200.
Jeez.
He's living
It's a good deal.
living in Reno.
What year is this?
Bought it 1986.
It's still a good price.
Well, it would
For
have probably
1986.
been, actually, I think it would have probably been 1990s. I think
That's
by
a really
this
good
point.
price.
Oh, no, actually, no, 2009. It said until 2009 when Thompson died.
By based on inflation, that's ridiculous.
So $200.
$200 for a giant stuffed bear that took loads of cocaine is amazing.
Yeah, it did. But I don't know if they stuffed it and left it in the position that it was in, or if they put it into
They just put a voice box in it, a little sound box, just constant screaming.
Yeah, just every time someone walks past, all you hear is...
Nice, beautiful, the eternal scream. Have a coked out beer.
Actually, I do know the position that it was left in. It's essentially just a stereotypical bear position.
Sitting with his legs crossed, smoking a pipe.
Yeah. And then when Zhu Tang died in 2012...
Oh, that didn't last very long.
Oh, no, yeah, he didn't keep it very long.
Poor Zhu Tang.
The bear was left in his office and his wife hated
The bear
it.
had an office.
Well, it was left in his office, the bear's office. Yeah.
The bear had an office.
The bear had an office. No,
Why?
no,
Yes.
Zhu Tang had an office and he left it in there. So he must have.
Okay.
He must have been a high up guy in a company. You wouldn't just bring a bear carcass
Oh no, it only cost him $200.
into work. I mean, true.
Doesn't sound like.
True.
It'd be great if it was like a back office of like a pizza place.
Yeah. Oh my
It's just
god.
got a giant bear.
It's just got the menu hanging from his neck. But when he died in 2012, his wife hated it and was willing to give it away as long as the new owners paid for the shipping. So, do you want to hazard a guess at where it ended up now? Where the last place of the cocaine bear lasted?
I'm gonna say maybe a museum, Smithsonian or something.
I mean, you would hope so. I mean, you would hope so, but no. It is actually
The back office of a Pizza Hut.
I wish. It's now the main attraction in the Kentucky for Kentucky store in the Fun Mall.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Kentucky fucking Stucky. What?
Kentucky for Kentucky. It's like
Kentucky fucking Kentucky.
Kentucky for Kentucky.
Kentucky fucking Kentucky.
Kentucky for Kentucky.
Yeah.
In the Fun Mall Lexington, which is a weird name for a mall, but it's a main attraction.
What kind of mall is it? Oh, fun mall.
Fun?
Real fun.
Real. There's at least one hot dog stand,
That's the best.
and there's a
It's my favorite.
ball pit with a few balls. I mean,
Not the kind of balls you would expect.
don't go in there if you're underage.
It was a sex dungeon.
But the Kentucky for Kentucky store is like a clothing store.
Yeah.
I think primarily, and
We also sell hot dogs.
we also sell bears, dead bears full of cocaine. The third clip we have for you today is from episode 13, the unlucky Christmas episode. Unfortunately, it landed on that, where we discuss the jolliest hero in all of Marvel's universes.
Shut up.
Today I learned about the jolliest hero. Do you want to have a little guess?
Jolliest hero.
The jolliest hero.
Bum, 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 bum.
We're, of course, talking about Santa Claus.
Oh, I was going to say the Flash.
We're, of course, talking about Santa Claus from Earth 616.
Oh, he's actually in the Marvel universe. Isn't
If
he?
you're
Yeah.
a Marvel fan, like I assume how it is, I'm a fan of the cinematic universe, not so much the comics, but I have been dabbling in a little bit throughout the Wikipedia. So yeah, we're talking about the Santa Claus of the Marvel universe.
Well, you can tell the difference because Marvel call it universe and DC focus on Earth. So they'll say Earth 36.
Yeah.
Not universe 161 or 13 or...
So he's from Earth 616,
Yeah.
which is the...
Is that the same universe as Future Spider-Man? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I'm
616?
not sure.
Oh, wait, no, isn't 616 the
616
official
is the
universe of
normal.
Spider-Man?
616 is sort of like our universe.
It's the default, yeah.
Yeah, it's the
well,
default.
no, they've
universe.
clarified in the Marvel before that our universe exists in that universe, but the heroes don't have powers. They're actors who play superheroes.
That's kind of smart. That's where the actor Spider-Man
They
comes
showed
in.
it in Secret Wars, where essentially Spider-Man meets the actor who plays Spider-Man from our universe, and he's completely useless because he's not actually Spider-Man.
No, you're not Tobey Maguire. I love you.
Which I'm still hoping that they do a Secret Wars movie at some point with this new Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Because now that Tobey Maguire is in there somewhere.
Well, they can actually use some of the characters from there now. I mean, unfortunately, Stark's dead, and he's one of the characters from
Spoilers.
Spoilers. But Hulk was in Secret Wars, I think. Storm was in Secret Wars. There was a bunch of other characters, so it would be
From the X-Men.
Captain America was in Secret Wars.
He could... Spoiler, could come back.
I don't think he wouldn't. I don't think he would say no to the occasional small appearance in the Marvel universe. I just don't think he wants to come back. I don't think any of them want to come back to headline
As a full movie.
Yeah, I think some of them probably wouldn't mind the odd cameo, but I don't think any of them are coming back for a...
Pretty sure Robert Downey Jr. is pretty flipping expensive at this point as well.
Oh, he outpriced himself. That's probably why they killed him.
So when's the next movie? Sorry, Robert. But let's move on to... we don't want to talk about any of those heroes, my favourite Spider-Man. We don't want to talk about any of those. And I've actually cut Spider-Man out of this. We'll get on to it. I've cut Spider-Man
There's a whole
from this.
thing that would have made the story longer.
Yeah. Infinitely longer than it already is. Yeah. So Santa Claus in the universe 616 is actually a creation, an amalgamation of 3 legendary beliefs. So he is a person, but I'll get onto it. So our first legendary character is Saint Nicholas, who you may be aware of. He was a Turkish bishop in Myra, and I'm assuming this is all Marvel universe sort of stuff.
I always thought he was more of a Nordic character.
We've
I
got
might
one.
be wrong.
We've got one. So Saint Nicholas, he was a Turkish bishop from Myra who was known for being very generous, kind, and loving to children. He was believed to have appeared in Emperor Constantine's dream to save 3 wrongfully accused soldiers from execution. So he's a pretty good guy.
They're on my good list.
Get them off the chopping list.
Or you'll be on my naughty list.
Spank.
I can only, whenever I think of Santa, I can only hear, I think it was John Goodman in Futurama, the Santa Claus from the robot one.
Oh, the robot one.
You're on my naughty list.
Have my toe missile.
Oh, my toe missile.
I love that in the elevator.
Fry, you've been a very naughty boy.
Have a present.
Who was the good one now? Who got the present? It was Zoidberg, wasn't it? Something stupid.
Yes. Or it might have been Scruffy.
Or
Somebody.
Scruffy.
I love Christmas. He also brought back 3 beheaded children to sailors who had lost them. I don't know the
he brought back the
logistics.
their actual. He didn't just bring their heads back. I thought it was a very
he bought them.
looking Christmas card of
Merry
Santa Claus.
Christmas. I've carved the words in the back of a skull, if you want to turn it around. He also tried to give money anonymously to a family that cannot afford their dowries for their daughters to get married. So if you don't know, dowries are sort of what the daughter's family give to the husband's family to sort of say, marry my daughter or something. In ye olden times.
In ye olden times, kind of solidifying the...
Yeah.
And I'm going to use the word transaction.
Here's my sacrifice.
Yeah.
Do you take cash or card?
I'll take a wife.
Yeah, thanks. He
Merry
eventually...
Christmas.
Here's a head. He eventually ended up just tossing bags of gold into their house and even dropped one down the chimney.
Killing a small child.
Killing one of the daughters,
And thus
the
Christmas
wives to
was
be.
born.
Merry Christmas! After his death, a church was built in his name, and Emperor Vladimir of Russia made Nicholas the patron saint of Russia hundreds of years later when he got told of the story. So the day before his death on December 5th became the day to give presents. So the day before his death, which would have been, so he died on December 6th. I think that became the day of giving gifts, which eventually got linked to Christianity, which sent it to the 25th.
Well, what Christianity did was it took pagan, basically, as it was trying to phase pagans out, it basically went, what days do you celebrate? The 25th, that's when Jesus died.
We'll add a 20 to that.
What's your other main one? Easter? That's when Jesus came back to life from the dead.
What's this Halloween?
Yeah, so they basically just picked all the best holidays and went, that's a coincidence. That's when our holidays are.
Jesus did something then, I swear it.
But yeah, when it's like, he was probably born in like fucking July or something. And
Probably
died
July.
middle of August or something boring.
I mean, it wouldn't be boring if we knew it. Then it would be Christmas in August, and it would be a lot fucking warmer. But with that one out of the way, that's our first one. So we got Saint Nicholas.
Yeah.
Boom, lock him in as one of our figures. The second one is Odin.
What's he got to do with Santa?
Well, he's the All-Father of Asgard, as you may know, in the Marvel and Greek. Is it Greek mythology? Or is it Roman?
That's definitely Nordic. That is Thor.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Viking gods, Valhalla and everything like that.
Of course it is. So on one night, he saved a midwinter's feast from not happening.
No.
An Asgardian troll named Grylak the Greater.
Grylak the Great.
Grylak the Greater. It could be great. I might have just chopped off that ER. We'll say Grylak the Great.
Greater than what?
Himself.
Greater than you.
He attempted to blackmail Odin, so he's like, yeah, I'm greater than you, and threatened to destroy Asgard with a huge asteroid if he did not gain control of it.
Where are you going to get a fucking asteroid from, you pleb?
Walmart, maybe. Space.
Shut
Walmart.
up, Odin. You don't know nothing about me.
Take this asteroid.
All the
Just a
gods
little
pick
pebble.
on me.
Just a little pebble he's thrown.
Turns out Asgard's this big.
It's like, that's right. Oh. A fisherman called Sigurd was sailing home and got stuck because of a storm. His wife Sia prayed to Odin to help her husband. Odin sent Thor to attack Grylak, and but only after gathering the finest wines, linens, and food. He then hurled Milner at the asteroid. So Grylak's been taken care of. The asteroid's been taken care of. It was destroyed in a huge flash of light in the sky, allowing Sigurd and his crew to find their way home. Later that night at Sigurd's village, Sia heard a noise in her front room. She ran to her hearth, sort of like the fireplace, and saw an unknown man. It was Odin. He was holding a bundle and wearing furs. He vanished in a flash of light again, leaving behind the goods that Thor collected. So all those fine wines, linen, food, all that, he left it just in a heap.
Give this to my baby.
Pow, pregnant, and just left.
Bye-bye.
Then Sigurd returned home, and they saw Odin riding a sleigh driven by 2 flying rams, and cried out, "A good midwinter to all, and to all a good life."
I thought it was just going to go, holy shit, flying rams.
Where am I going? Thor! And then he just... and a light just goes up. So that's our second one. So we've got St. Nicholas, we've got Odin locked in. Ka-ching. And now we've got our last one, Old Winter. That was a pre-medieval British belief. Ooh. So
was it like Old Lady Winter or just Old Winter?
Just Old Winter.
Not a new one. It's the old one.
Not that,
Back again. Fucking
I
hell.
think we can afford New Winter. It was custom among the tribes in Britain that the elders of the community would dress up in furs and become the character Old Winter. So they would go house to house delivering food and drink and stuff like that. If people were hospitable to Old Winter, the winter season would be kind to them. So it's sort of like give and take.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's no
symbolic.
reason to not be hospitable to him. He's giving you food and drink.
It's just purely symbolic. It's symbolic. They're basically just going, here's an opportunity to do good so we don't all die.
There you go.
Be good.
You'll eat this winter if you're nice to me. Imagine having that much power.
What a fucking great spiel.
Dick. Oh, yeah.
That's one way to get a free meal. If you're nice to me, right, the winter won't kill you this
So
year.
I've given you 1 bottle of wine and at least 3 hams. I expect 3 and 7 in return.
I expect at least 3 of my relatives to live.
Just brings the heads. Oh, sorry, maybe next year.
Wrong God.
Yeah. So, this tradition went on for years and years. Old Winter, after the introduction of Christianity, eventually turned into Old Christmas, then to Old Father Christmas, and eventually to the one that we know now, Father Christmas. And those
So
are
he's reversing in age like Benjamin Button.
Yeah, his name's just getting less and less. So next it'll just be Christmas, and then it'll just be Muz, and then it'll just be Tz.
And then we'll get, much like Baby Yoda, we'll get Baby Santa.
Oh my God.
And someone will have to journey him around the earth, delivering his presents for him.
Like a Mandalorian. Or someone of equal stature.
There you go, terrible movie studios. There's an awful movie. Someone hits Santa with a reverse ray, and then he's Baby Santa, and then someone has to take over as Santa.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's already one like that. I'm going to have to search that up after this, because if you can think
Like
of a
Boss
Christmas
Baby, so you
unit...
got like Santa Baby.
Oh my
and that's
God.
got the perfect title.
Santa Baby.
Santa Baby.
Baby.
Just call me Adam Sandler.
Okay, Adam. So with those 3, so now we've got them all locked in. We've got St. Nicholas, we've got Odin, and we've got Old Winter. With all these 3 beliefs mixed together with some spiritual energy, Santa Claus became real in the Marvel universe. I mean, and this universe, Santa's real. He initially set up his base in Finland's eastern frontier in Korvatuntori. Korvatuntori.
What was it?
Korvatuntori. Finland. He set it up in Finland.
Set up in Finland.
Where he delivered gifts on Christmas morning on horseback. So he's quite behind the times at this point.
So at the moment, he's a cowboy. The old West Santa Claus.
The old Santa cowboy. That's another film.
Girl.
I'm waiting for the phone lines to ring. Cowboy Santa and Baby Santa. Santa Baby, sorry. So after he found a wife, Mrs. Claus, he moved to the North Pole where they established a workshop and put together a workforce of elves.
And shot the horses because it's too cold.
Yeah, just...
I got magical
I have no need
reindeer.
for you anymore. Glue it is. So these elves were descendants of light elves from Alfheim, one of the 10 realms of Asgard. So it's all keeping within Marvel.
Yeah.
So we all know the origin story of Santa and Rudolph and all that jazz. So I don't think
Christmas jazz.
Well, I don't think we need to get into that. It's much like the Spider-Man backstory. We
He
know.
gets bit by a radioactive elf.
Man.
and turns into
A light elf.
Santa.
Oh.
The end.
Merry Christmas.
Origin over. Let's keep going.
That would be an awesome Spider-Man story. I would watch. So yeah, we already know about all the backstory. So I thought we'd move into some of the juicier stuff, like the time Adolf Hitler captured Santa to lower the morale of the US.
Well, when you said juicy, you weren't lying.
Yes. In World War, so this one's in World War II, obviously. Which is where President Roosevelt sent Nick Fury, Captain America, and Bucky Rogers to rescue
they had to
him.
send Captain America. Captain America always punches the Nazi.
Of course he does. And Santa. He accidentally just... oh, sorry. Naughty list.
Thought you were a Nazi.
You aren't, right? He's in red.
You're on my good list. Gotta go.
Bye.
Ho, ho, ho.
Heil, heil, heil.
Ow.
So he did escape, and I would like to see a movie of this. There weren't much further details on what happened, but I would like to see a movie of this, the Christmas escape on Marvel. Could do a what if,
Yeah.
because they're doing a what if soon. Aren't
Oh
they?
yeah, they're doing the whole. It's in fact, hasn't Spider-Man got one of the episodes of What If? They're doing a Spider-Man episode with Tom Holland.
Well, I will definitely be watching that.
Pretty sure.
Is that on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait for that.
I don't know whether that's going to be because they've announced a lot of animated features for the What If though, so I don't know whether it's just going to be voiced by him or actually him.
I'll take either, to be honest. Get Tobey Maguire in there to voice someone. But so moving on from World War II, we're years later after the Cerebro, the mutant detecting computer. So
Yes.
So the mutant.
Oh, I remember this actually from something. Doesn't Xavier connect with Saint Nick essentially?
Pretty much, yeah. So Cerebro, am I pronouncing
And
that
isn't
right?
he like one of the oldest mutants? It turns out he's not actually a hero; he's a mutant.
The computer detected
Yeah.
him as the most powerful mutant ever registered.
Next to Apocalypse,
Yeah,
I assume.
probably, yeah.
In fact, hasn't Santa defeated Apocalypse in one of the stories? Oh, I'm going to stop talking.
He
I
may
sound
have.
like a massive nerd.
He may have. I don't have that on here, but he may have. So the being was also detected by Eunice the Untouchable, the Blob, the Toad, and Mastermind, aka the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. This resulted in the two fighting for some reason, I'm assuming to gain Santa Claus' signature, and was only stopped when Santa transformed the Brotherhood into inanimate toys, teleported the X-Men away, and wiped all their memories.
So he's Boo, basically.
Yeah, like Oh, I'm not even going to attempt that voice. I'll butcher it.
I already did.
And and after all that, he made it snow after he left. So I
It's not snow, it's the ashes of my fallen enemies.
just teleports away just in front of a child.
I mean, Merry Christmas.
Pulls his swastika on Bando. They'll never catch me. The next one is Howard the Duck.
That's
Howard,
me.
That is you. Where Santa tried to modernize himself. He had a shorter beard and he would only clip on the bigger beard for Christmas. He stopped using reindeer because people getting pissed at him
Because
using
of animal
reindeer.
abuse.
Yeah, pretty much.
God.
And he started using
He
steam.
didn't whip them. He gave them like magical food, didn't he? It's like, isn't that the coolest thing ever? If you're,
true, yeah.
if you're a
and
boring ass reindeer,
spreading cheer to children all around the world.
it's just like here's some magic drugs. Now fly me around the world.
Just feeding them mushrooms.
Basically,
True, but he stopped using the reindeers and started using steam. But then he got convinced to use oil.
steam. So do you like have a steampunk sleigh?
Yeah, dude.
Stick with that. That's sick.
But he went to oil. He went to
Lame.
oil after a little bit. But Santa later opened a nuclear power plant and gas station in the North Pole.
To power.
His ass.
My workshop needs an inside nuclear reaction.
What?
Oh, does it explode?
Hope it explodes.
Well, it did go well until Killer Watt came along, one of the villains, who was hired to work in the hot areas of the power plant.
I would have thought it'd been somewhere with high electrical charge, but okay.
Well, he got mutated. He got mutated and turned into the form resembling a light bulb. Then,
Excuse me?
then Santa brought in a
Do you mean he
convict,
just lit up like a light bulb or actually just turned into a light bulb?
more or less just turned into a light bulb, to be honest. A sentient light bulb.
Oh, dear.
The best villain I've ever heard. Step aside, Mysterio. And then Santa brought in a convict called Pinball Lizard for some reason.
The terrible phrase on Pinball Wizard.
Maybe.
No, it is.
Is it actually?
Yeah, well, Pinball Wizard's a Who song, isn't it?
Oh, no. Well, those two, Pinball Wizard and Kilowatt teamed up, and Kilowatt turned Pinball Wizard into an actual wizard. No, an actual lizard, and turned many of the
confused.
elves into trolls. They also
Who just started posting fucking dank memes into people's stories.
You've been shit, basically.
Here's a shit post.
Yeah, fuck you. Didn't even get coal. They also felt the thing about this is I don't get the time chronologically because I assume that Santa would be kind of noticing that all of his elves are turned into trolls before going off to make his delivery because they filled Santa's sleigh just enough so he would crash. But what I'm just imagining him walking through the toy shop. Everything's going everywhere. There's trolls fighting. He's like, bye, and then just gets up
do
and
my
goes.
rounds.
Bit noisier than usual. He was destined to crash. The duo intended to take over Christmas as revenge for how society had treated them. Santa crashed in Cleveland, where he met Howard the Duck, who owned a taxi company and helped him refuel. And the pair, accompanied by a young Carol Starkowitz, headed for the North Pole. Santa, Howard, Carol, and the loyal elves. Toys animated by elf magic and a gun-toting elf
Wait,
called
I thought there were trolls at
Sunquist.
this point.
Well, some of them didn't. Some of them
okay.
must have evaded detection.
Quick retcon, plot's going weird. We need elves.
Yeah, there's just some that we
There's
didn't
a
get.
few that he didn't get. Santa had them in his pocket.
They hid under the snow. And a gun-toting elf called Sunquist, who is originally from Florida, fought for the workshop. After driving out Pinball, they needed to stop the power plant from overheating and melting through the Arctic.
This is the most convoluted fucking story.
Yeah. Well, this is the longest one. They had to stop the power plant from essentially melting through Antarctica and splitting the Earth into pieces. And so Pinball and Kilowatt reunited in the power plant, or the nuclear power plant. I don't know how he escaped, but Pinball, he's got his ways. They released mutant seals,
Of course
polar
they
bears.
do. I mean, what else are you going to do? It's fucking Santa.
Not soldiers. What's the point? Just send out
It's some mutant
seals.
walruses. Sorry, seals.
We'll just send out
I almost got my evil animals wrong.
normal enemies of each other. You just see the polar bears just gnaw through
It's
the
like
seals.
Marvel's got this massive fucking backlog of awesome fucking villains and heroes, and they go, mutant seals. Here's penguins with rocket
Oh my
launchers
God.
on their back.
Mutant seals, polar bears, penguins,
There's a
and
nod to
whales.
Batman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd love that penguin to come into it. And whales to stop the heroes. So
Whales.
So they had seals, polar bears, penguins, and whales. And the way that the
What the fuck are
Wikipedia
whales going to do?
hit from below, don't know. Just scare them off. Oh, God, what was that scary noise?
It's ghosts. North
Big
Pole ghosts.
blue ghosts.
Run away.
I didn't write this down, but I know I read the Wikipedia page, and it said that they defeated the animals by sidestepping them. Which
I'm just imagining a bunch of people just fucking curb stomping cuddly animals now. What's happening?
no, well, I think they just sidestepped them and they went into the water.
Oh, they just went, oh!
Yeah, that's the way
This
it's written in the
story is
article. I hope
fucking
it's way more
terrible.
cooler.
It's
We're gonna
not.
have to read this.
This story is
comic
already
book.
terrible. I'm pretty sure they just went, oh!
Yeah. Well,
And a
Howard's,
bunch of penguins fell in the water and they ran off.
how did that plan fail?
They've got maneuvers.
Who could have thought they would have gone to the water? Howard spared Pinball through the
Yeah, I did.
not spared. Sorry, I'll restart that one. Howard speared Pinball through
Yeah,
the
I
tail,
did.
and Sunquist shot Kilowatt through the head,
Oh, nice.
reverting the mutants he had caused. Boom, 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 boom. So it reverted all the mutations that he caused, so all the elves were back to normal. And after that, Santa closed the nuclear power plant and promised to use solar power and organic fuels from now on.
I would have written it as Santa could never live with the crimes against humanity and the animal kingdom that he did so in this story, and turned into a drinker and died
And
in
made the animal kingdom
died in a
pay
gutter.
by enlisting more reindeer for a more powerful slave with more
Radioactive mutant reindeer.
abuse. Or, yeah.
Oh,
I'm evil. Our next one is She-Hulk. And he's in this story because he knows who's on the naughty and nice list. So Santa became sort of a great detective known as Nixon Christopher. And
So they
helped-
basically did Batman.
Fat Man. And he helped aid She-Hulk. She was working on a murder case and enlisted Santa to help find evidence. I don't know I don't know why he'd know where evidence is. Like, he just gets a name on a list and he goes, yep, he's pretty naughty. He probably did it. You wouldn't really know where any of the murder weapons were. So you could probably done this on your own, She-Hulk. But Santa was attracted to She-Hulk and started to hit on her.
He was.
Yeah.
How old, Santa?
Old. Pretty freaking old.
Stick to your lane, dude.
Yeah. Stick to your age. So Santa was attracted to She-Hulk and he tried to hit on her before Mrs. Claus came along and was like, smacked him up and corralled him back. She also punished She-Hulk for having reindeer droppings all over her office. For some reason, what? She-Hulk's got some weird ass fetishes, dude.
was here.
I can tell. It fucking stinks.
There's poo everywhere.
That's his. Oh, no, it's the reindeers. It's the reindeers, I promise. No fooling me. I know a shit when I see one.
And there he is.
Oh.
Back to the North Pole with you.
Bitch. So before leaving Santa, I assume they solved the case. They cracked the case at this point. And before leaving, Santa gave She-Hulk a present to use on Christmas Day for something special.
Excuse me.
He gave her a dildo. No, she became trapped in the She-Hulk form, but once she opened the gift from Santa,
I thought she was always trapped in the She-Hulk form.
well, I thought she could turn sort of in and out of it, but
No, I thought she was trapped. Oh, did he give her the ability to come out of it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant it the other way around. I thought he had locked her into.
No, he's not that
I was
much of a-
wait, she always was.
you didn't take my advances. Fuck you. Green.
Shrek forever.
Oh, hell yeah. But so, like, once she opened it, she was temporarily turned back into a human form so she could celebrate Christmas with her father.
Well, she had the caveats that Hulk never had, which was like she wasn't massively grotesquely out of proportion. She
Looked like a normal woman, but just
she was kind of
painted green.
Yeah, she was a couple of inches higher, quite bulky and
In shape.
very like she was green but attractive. It was like she basically got all the best bits of in the Hulk.
I'd just love to have seen just Hulk, but they just drew a bit longer hair. That would have been amazing. So, after that one, we're heading back to Howard the Duck once again. With Santa becoming demoralized due to the lack of faith and belief in him, he sold his entire franchise to Hydra. I told you he's still a Nazi. About the same time, Howard the Duck agreed to become a mall Santa helper for Beverly Switzler. Beverly Switzler, if you know her.
I'm going to trust you.
You shouldn't. After one of the original helpers became injured, I think they fell down an elevator shaft or like
At the North Pole.
After Santa shut down everything. Hello. And one of Santa's elves recruited a number of the other Santa's helpers, which included not only Howard the Duck, Vito Claus, Bubba Claus, Santa.
Tell me Bubba Claus is Wolverine.
I don't think so.
Oh, damn it.
I don't know, actually. He didn't go into detail about who they actually are. Santa Clara, Claus Seatong, I think it is. Sanity Claus, and Willy Lumpkin Claus.
Yeah, oh God, what?
Their main mission was to stop Hydra from ruining Christmas. Howard and the recently orphaned Dionysus Finster.
Dionysus?
It might be Dionysus. Dionysus.
I only know that because of some Alan Watts lecture where he's talking about Dionysus.
Well, this is some orphan Dionysus Finster who latched on to Howard. They both set off for the North Pole. He smuggled her in for the mission. They convinced Santa to go back on his deal with Hydra and claim the North Pole once again. They managed to do it with the help of the helpers. They ran out the commando corps of the Hydra accountants, and Christmas was saved. For now, at least.
For new.
I did cut out a Spider-Man story. It was essentially
I think I know the Spider-Man one, to be fair.
Do you want to have a crack
I think
at it?
that was my introduction. No, God, no. But I think that was my introduction to Santa Claus being in the Marvel Universe, was through some Spider-Man story.
And our last tie-in one is Deadpool. Have you seen this one?
Is this where Deadpool goes around and kills every hero in the Marvel Universe?
No.
Okay.
After not receiving gifts from Santa, a group of kids hired Deadpool to kill Santa. Once Deadpool arrived in the North Pole, he found out that an evil elf was stopping presents from getting out. So he killed the elf instead and headed home.
The end.
That is the end, yeah. So after all I want to see if you've been paying attention. So
I haven't. Who are you?
So after all of those, I thought we'd talk about the powers that Santa Claus actually has in the Marvel Universe. How many can you think of that we've talked about?
I'm trying to think of the one where, so it's not omnipotence. Omniscience? Is that it?
Sort of everywhere and everything at the same time.
There's
Don't think it's that good.
No, that's omnipresence. There's omnipotence and omnipresence and omniscience. He's got one of them. He's got the one where essentially he can be in like a lot of places, like without, like technically the whole reindeer thing is something he doesn't need in the Marvel universe. He can essentially be where he needs to be, at whatever time he needs to be.
There is an explanation for that. I don't think it is specifically that, but there is an explanation for that. I'll go through them now.
I think that's one of them.
So he has longevity, which is just being able to live for flipping ages.
He's a bit like Wolverine, essentially, in that fashion.
Which is why they should switch.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Actually, he had 1 year, he actually had Victor Von Doom, or one of his little robots, take care of the toy drive for him. When Santa was injured the once, he melted his heart and said, oh, fuck, I'll do it. Shit. But yeah, so he has longevity. He has the ability to fit down any chimney and avoid fire. He can levitate up chimneys by usually touching his nose and nodding, and then he just whoop. He can alter the appearance of himself or other objects or beings. So in that X-Men story, he turned them all into toys.
Yeah.
He can change the size of other objects. That wasn't mentioned in any of these stories, I don't think.
Well, essentially, they both fall into the same power category, which is matter manipulation, essentially. So he's got matter manipulation.
So he can teleport himself and others across the world, which we saw in the X-Men one. Yeah. So that's how he's sort of...
also matter manipulation, essentially.
Yeah. Damn. He can generate snow.
Probably one of his biggest powers.
And there you go. He can generate snow. So is that matter manipulation?
That's either matter manipulation or he's doing weather manipulation, which is Storm's power. So he's got a bit of Storm's ability.
Also, I would love to see... I want to see a Christmas Santa Marvel movie.
But you could manipulate matter to make snow appear without clouds, say, like, because you're essentially changing water molecules in the air and going, there you go, a bit of cold, there you go.
Yeah. Well, you imagine if these were the powers of a sort of a regular superhero, let's say.
Yeah.
This would be an awesome movie. I would watch this, or like an awesome comic book.
You'd watch Marvel's Santa Claus.
I would love it. Marvel, if you're gonna make a new movie, please make Santa Claus.
To be fair, every studio does a Christmas movie. If you've already got one you've already got one in your catalog of heroes.
You might
Marvel,
as well.
You can do it. Why not do a Christmas movie?
I would love to see.
Actually, would be quite a good idea.
I would love to see that where it.
And you're Disney. You're already Disney.
Exactly. Disney plus Marvel, Santa Claus. Let's do it.
Universe 616 Santa. Let's go.
I'll direct it. Don't worry. I'm real cheap. I'll do it.
What am I doing?
Santa who? Sorry, dude. I was drunk when I said that. And last but not least, he can determine who has been naughty or nice.
Oh. Like divine judgment, essentially, then.
Or it's just magic.
Well, you've got to break down all of his abilities and put it in. If you're going to put him in a comic book universe, you've got to break down how he's got these abilities, I suppose. Whereas in lore, he's magic.
Yeah, so I think we can break it down into he's magic.
And he's on mushrooms.
I mean, Ted, do you think he gets through it every year? Jeez.
Why do you think he keeps so many reindeer?
Oh, shit.
This clip comes all the way from episode 14, where we discuss the what not to do when invading an island.
Shut up.
Today I learned about the solo invasion.
Oh.
You want to have a guess at that?
Actually, no, I don't think I do know what this is. I thought I did,
kind of illegal. Well, it is.
Solo
it is
invasion.
illegal.
So this is an invasion of one person. One person invaded a whole country. That'd be amazing.
Well, we'll see. So Sark is part of the Channel Islands off the coast of Normandy. So it's one of the only places in the world where cars are banned from the road. Only tractors.
You may only just run around on the grass.
Yeah, all the people there are extremely athletic. So only tractors and horse-drawn vehicles can be used on these roads.
Okay.
Sark was also designated as a dark sky community.
Oh, I think I know of this island.
And the first dark sky island in the world.
Don't like astronomers go there, essentially?
Yep. So a dark sky preserve is a place that restricts artificial light pollution. So you're just not allowed to build any buildings or stadiums or anything. So there's different kinds of dark places in the world. They're labeled differently based on what they are, and you can guess.
I suppose they probably have a light rating.
You can guess what
how
they
much
are
light
as well.
pollution
So
they
you've
have.
got international dark sky communities, you've got international dark sky parks, international dark sky reserves, international dark sky sanctuaries, and dark sky developments of distinction.
Well, some of the dark sites like reserves, I assume, will be because one of the things that disorients like birds and stuff is actually like city cities and light pollution and stuff is actually disorientating.
We have that with turtles as well,
Species
don't
of
you?
animals.
If you have
Yeah.
something that's near the beach, they'll start to waddle towards that instead of the
They'll
sea.
waddle towards the light instead of the sea. Yeah,
Because they're meant to go towards the moon, aren't they?
yeah.
Moon's
That's
closer to the
what's kind of encoded in their DNA memory is like this is what you do. Like with a calf, it's like the first thing you have to do is learn to stand up if you're a calf, essentially, because there's no waiting around. The mother will just carry on without you.
Whereas we're fucking useless as babies. We just get put in the middle of the streets and jumped over.
Yeah, well, we are the baby Yodas of our planet, essentially. Like our infants are so vulnerable for so long. No other animal on this planet is as useless as we are when we're born.
Yeah.
Other apes and chimps and stuff like that, then yes, they tend to also have infantile babies that remain infantile for longer. It's definitely a more mammal thing than any other thing, but a lot of mammals out there are born and immediately have to move and be alert and active and know how to exist.
Yeah.
Which is where the whole theory of DNA memory and stuff comes from. Because it's like, well, then how they fucking know?
Yeah, you don't really have time to learn how to stand up if you've literally just been born.
Unless it's encoded. Whereas we, over time, as we've evolved and we've lived in safer and safer societies, that has got less and less to the point where our infants are infantile for like 2 or 3 years.
I mean, not to be funny,
Sometimes.
but I would...
Some kids I must admit, are advanced, and you'll have fucking kids waddling around at fucking 1 year old and stuff. It's just insane. Some kids are much more advanced than other kids, but most of the time, infancy lasts for like... Infancy definitely is included in the scientific definition as like that point where they are aware of self. So when a baby recognizes itself in a mirror as itself and not another entity, which up until like the age of 3, 4, definitely not 4. Like up until the age of like 3, there are some kids that won't understand that they are an individual. They will see other people as an extension of themselves and stuff like that. And people who don't grow out of that are called sociopaths.
It sounds like a lot of adults. So, I've gathered some examples of dark places for you. So you've got Warrumbungle National Park in New South Wales, Australia, which is a dark sky park.
Nice.
You've got
Any reason? Do we know the reason why it's a dark sky park?
I just assume
It just is.
Yeah, it just is. You might
Shut up, Howard.
Thank you, Ed. So, you have Mataki Tarangi, which is Eyes to the Sky, which is the British Overseas Territory in Pitcairn.
Yep.
Pitcairn.
Sure.
No, it's Pitcairn. It might be Pitcairn. Pitcairn Islands. In the middle of the South Pacific Ocean, which is a dark sky sanctuary. You have the Wilderness State Park in Michigan, US of A.
Michigan, we like
which
Michigan.
is a dark sky preserve.
Preserve.
And then you have, and last but not least, you have Dripping Springs in Texas, US of A, which is a dark sky community, much like our beloved Sark.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here for. We're not here for the dark skies, babies, and light pollution. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. We're jumping back to August 1990.
Oh.
Where an unemployed nuclear physicist, Andre Gards, or Garrads,
Let's go with guards because it sounds cooler.
Gards sounds way better, who attempted to invade Sark.
So it was a guy.
With a semi-automatic weapon.
Jesus
just one.
Christ. I'm going to assume they don't have guns on the island. Or at least not unless you're a police or military presence.
Yeah, probably. He believed he was a rightful heir and senior, I think it's senior, of Sark. So this is, senior is kind of like the ruler of Sark's like a king of the island. I think they still have to abide by everything that France says.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And they have to like
because
write in for permission.
France doesn't have a monarch anymore, does it?
like
They
that.
got rid of their monarch.
I don't think, it's like a prime minister
But
maybe.
we're talking about like obviously where it went as far back as like God knows how far it went back.
This is 1990.
So, well, yeah, but like back in the day, like way back in the day when France did have a monarch, they were probably like a lord in this country. What would be considered a lord?
Oh yeah, probably. It's probably sort of a lord.
Yeah.
A lord of Sark. I will take that. When he arrived in Sark, he hung 2 posters declaring his invasion. The plan was.
So it was all very done by the book, I suppose.
I suppose. He only bought 2 posters with him. He didn't-
Excuse me, I'm invading. You there?
Surrender!
Do you know who I am?
I am the senior of...
Well, you will soon. Now, tell the other... Oh.
Oh, he was the only one.
It's my island.
Yay! Then just 50 people come with guns.
Yeah, my island.
Where am I defend? Oh, it's just me. So the plan was...
Have you got a poster?
It's right there. I should have stayed home. My island. So the plan was he got there on the night, and I think he got there on the night, and the plan was that he was at noon. He was going to begin the invasion. So he let everyone know in that 5-meter radius of the posters.
You there?
Come and read this. It's really important.
What? No, come back.
Someone's invading you.
It's me.
Just unloads on him right there. It has begun. They'll never see it coming.
I'm sorry, but the idea, it's just too silly. The concept of one guy just invade, and the fact that he didn't just like come in and open fire. He came in and said, "There's a poster there. I'm invading. There's one there. I'm invading here. I'm invading there."
I'm running out of posters. I can't invade there anymore.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, just give me a few days.
Have you got a printer?
I've got it on my memory stick.
Oh, it's 1990, isn't it? I'll be back in 20 years.
I'll write it down. You're just on the boat. For fuck's sake. They're probably preparing their defences.
The fools.
They have no chance.
I have posters.
So yeah, he only hung up 2 posters.
What if you didn't see the poster?
Then you're just a casualty of war, I'm afraid.
He takes no prisoners. So the next day, he set out to conquer the island. Sitting on a bench, waiting for noon to roll around, a volunteer constable approached Andre.
It's a small island. No one's up till noon.
Yeah, there's only one bench.
So everyone...
Everyone turns up at the bench. Who's this on our bench?
It's my allotted time, I think you'll see. I'm allowed to...
I get 12 to 1.
Bro, the ducks are coming. I've bought my...
He won't get off the bench.
Arrest him.
He's got a poster. Let's
What
get
does
him
it
off.
say? Invasion. I just want to imagine any confrontation. He just starts firing. So the volunteer constable approached Andre. He complimented his weapon and he asked to see the magazine of the weapon.
That's a clever cop.
Yeah, it did.
He's like, "Oh, you're a big man. You got a nice gun. Just have a look at that, and it's mine."
Take the bullets out of it, please, and show me. At which point, the constable took the gun and punched him in the nose.
I was going to say, what a fucking genius. I love this just casually. That is a nice gun.
He's a smart one. He's dealt with invasions before.
He's actually their commander. He's like the commander of their military.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Just like a 60-year-old bloke with a little bobby hat. That's a nice gun.
It's like is it the Lord of the Rings when they have all the people come to the top of the hill and surround the guy? That's just the army of Sark coming above. There's another one. We've waited for this day.
We do love an invasion.
Now
I don't know why we're from Yorkshire.
And over the one magazine. Yeah, I wonder how many magazines he would have carried with that one. Probably not enough to get rid of everyone.
I imagine they probably talk with more of a French accent than a Yorkshire
Oh,
accent.
probably. Oh, aye, you've come half parts now. Oh,
I'm Welsh, you see.
Or however Yorkshire people speak.
I've got all Welsh.
I've moved. So, so he punched him in the face and arrested him.
Amazing.
And gave him a 7-day sentence that he served in Guernsey.
Nice.
The gun is now in a museum on Sark. So if you wanna go see the ultimate weapon,
The trophy of the invasion of Sark.
You can also find his body there. No, you can't.
I can't believe that he literally just went and sat on a bench and then that's how it ended.
And just waited. Yeah. I wanted him
What was he
to-
waiting for?
Noon?
What was he going to do at noon?
Invade?
And the cop was just like... and that's dealt with that.
He just goes,
oh shit, it's 11:49. Everyone get down. But no, because the poster said he was invading at noon, so he was staying to his plan. He was waiting around for noon. He hadn't ordered a bed or anything.
not
I think
the
he just went.
brightest.
I think he just went with one set of clothes. And
He wasn't the brightest.
no. I mean, if he was smarter, he would have invaded just France themselves.
To be honest, you could have invaded the island by just don't put the post there, and then sit on the bench at noon with a gun, and then when everyone turns up at noon, just like, what's this guy doing?
I'm
And
sorry.
then at least you have the element of surprise.
Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble head, but I don't think many people saw the poster and were like, oh, shit, well, that's where he's going to be. I think the guy probably just saw him with a gun and was like, oh, he's not
Listen,
meant to
man,
have
with a
that. Invasion, just his first thought. I would love to be in that room where he explains that he was going to invade and not just had a gun.
Yeah. No. You can't just put me on charges for that. No. I was here to invade.
This is a war crime.
and this is my island.
Get off. Police. Never heard of
There's
such
no
thing.
police on my island.
Get out. I am the ruler. You have to unshackle me. It's the rules. I've made them up. But did that stop him, Howard?
Yes.
No, of course not.
He's in prison.
Of course not. He was only there for 7 days, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he learned his lesson, didn't he?
He attempted to attack once more. But he was intercepted at Guernsey.
I'm
and he
assuming he didn't-
never tried again.
I'm assuming he didn't have a gun this time because they took my only gun.
He had to make one. He had to
He
make
just
one.
walked up with a stick.
He's got just his hand in his pocket.
Yeah, sat on the bench with a fucking bulge in his pocket. Just, I'm invading.
Don't make me pull the trigger. You can't see the... Whoa!
I couldn't afford a full post this time, so it was just an A5 letter.
Just Sharpie on it.
He'd tried to write invading on it, but he ran out of space. He had to curve the letters down the side.
As people, what an invade. What?
He's in Verdade.
But
Where's that?
what? Huh? Where is Cars? Just can't spell either. So yeah, he got intercepted in Guernsey, and they would. I don't think he tried again. So that is the end of the story for
Should hope
Andre, our friend,
The idiot.
friend of the show, Andre.
Wonder what happened to him.
Our second to last clip comes from episode 8, where we discuss the very interesting life of the Earl of Barrymore, who lost a race due to unforeseen circumstances.
Shut up.
Today I learned narrow is the way to go. This is a story of Richard Barry, Earl of Barrymore, which is a very...
Where's this? This sounds very posh.
it is... Do you know... Oh, I think it's like Eton. You know Eton.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, Eton.
Bloody hell, chap.
His
All right, here we go.
His father, Richard Barry Sr., 6th Earl of Barrymore.
Richard Barry Senior. I think you'll find Barry Senior. Thank you.
Of Barrymore.
You may call me Baz.
Of Bazamore.
Bazington.
And his mother, Emily, 3rd daughter of William Stanhope, 2nd Earl of Harrington.
Yeah,
Oh, this is so posh.
love it.
When he was 3, he inherited the earldom. So he actually inherited the earldom.
I've got my earldom, I have.
I'm guessing because he died. It didn't say anything about it, but I assume he inherited it because he died.
I took it from him.
Because he died. He was then placed under the care of Reverend John Tickle of Wargrave in Berkshire.
Reverend Tickle, come
Reverend
quickly.
Tickle.
It's a travesty.
It's olden times.
Everything's a travesty. We're so stupid. Help us.
When his mom died.
Reverend Tickle.
When his mom died at the age of 11. Not his mom dying at the age of 11.
Oh, God, that would be...
Him being 11 and his mom died.
That would be.
His grandmother, the Countess of Harrington, sent him to Eton with £1,000 pocket money,
Off you go.
which is actually roughly £151,543.52
Here's a small loan.
today in inflation.
So if it's counted for inflation, then it's about that much.
It's a small
today.
loan of $1 million.
A fucking lot. While on holiday with his brothers back in Wargrave.
Holiday, which was basically every day.
Wargrave. They
Which
changed
holiday are we going on today?
the second.
Brother.
Oh gosh. They changed all the inn signs. They changed all the inn signs for miles around, riding around the village, smashing windows with their horse whip, disguising themselves as postilions, which is apparently the
So they're
god
just-
of a horse-drawn cart,
They're just dicks.
in order to terrify their friends. And walking through Wargrave wearing only their shirts.
Oh,
When-
the sight of it.
so that's what they did whenever they went on holiday. Entertainment.
Look at my pale
These days.
nipples. Look at them.
Well, you wouldn't be able to see them. They've got shirts on.
I thought you said the boys with the shirts off.
No, they only had shirts on.
Wait, so they would
They were just walking through the town.
walk around
just
with their
shirts
dicks
on.
out?
Yeah. Look at it!
They were fucking. Oh god, they were Looney Tunes in it.
Yeah, I think, and he was a child as well, so even worse. But when he turned 18, he was tall, slim, and agile. He was skilled with a sword, a good boxer, and an excellent horse rider, winning a lot on the race course.
I'll box you with my sword.
I'll box you with my horse.
My horse and sword.
Seeing as he'd race as himself, basically. He'd race himself. He wouldn't hire somebody else. to
So he'd
race
just
for him.
run
So-
along. He'd just run alongside the horses.
Yeah, basically. He'd just go, come on! Come on!
Ride me.
Get the horse to ride him.
Jump on.
He was also a big
Horse.
gambler. He's a big gambler, dude. In 17,
sounds unhealthy.
In 1788, he even bet he could find a man who would eat a cat. So he's going to
You
find...
there. What you peasant?
Do you like cat?
Eat this cat.
Are you hungry?
Here is more money than you've ever seen in your life. Eat the cat.
Joe. Oh, God.
I've got my earldom.
Oh, my God.
Eat the
This has turned him into a dick. In 17...
Turn him into it. What?
In 1789, he opened a theatre right across from where he used to live in Wargrave,
I had no idea I was so interested in the arts.
costing £60,000.
I thought I just like smashing things, but no, actually, I like theatre.
Can you guess how much £60,000 would be adjusted for inflation?
Wait, she gave him what? 10,000? Was that 10,000 or 150,000? So 60,000 would be a lot of money.
It says 9,092,000.
What?
Yeah. It says 9 million when you put 60,000. I put it into this website that does inflation.
I put it into this totally accurate website.
This very trustable website on the internet. It says 9,092,611.
I'm going to trust the magic
Six
calculator.
pence. I swear, I'll show you after the show. He called it the most handsome and luxurious theatre in the country. He also made money boxing,
Look at it.
winning 25,000.
Oh,
3,788,587 pounds.
guy is
94.
fucking overflowing.
Guy is fucking rich. Once by beating a boxer named Watson, who later became his bodyguard for some reason.
You there! I'm going to prove something to you.
In 1790, he and Captain Parkhurst, which why has everyone got a title? Had a bet, a foot race, a 30-yard straight line.
You there! I
with
bet
a
you I can
turn
throw
around a
this
tree.
foot farther than you can. Peasant, give me your foot.
Here is a cat. In
Eat
exchange,
it.
it'll grow back.
Oh.
So he's having a race with Captain Parkhurst, and it's a 30-yard
What's he a
straight
captain of?
line. I don't know.
I am the captain.
It's a 30-yard
I've got my captainism
yard
from my
line
dead father.
with a tree. So basically, it's a 30-yard straight line run,
Right.
with a turn around a tree, and you come back.
But you can only do it with a foot. 1 foot, because it's a foot race. So you got to hop.
But the captain would be on a horse, and it was a best of 4.
And our Earl has a horse on his back.
No.
He's going to run.
No.
No.
He's naked. Oh, well, he just has his shirt on, basically.
Is this becoming a common occurrence?
I don't think so. I think it was stopped
Just
when he
for
was
the
a
race?
child. Yeah, but I think so.
Just for the race, then?
Yes.
Just this one more time?
Yeah, for the race.
I doubt that.
Yeah. Can you guess who won?
The horse.
They tied
The horse? They tied the horse so that he would win.
to the tree and ran back, giggling.
So, what? How fast could he
They
run?
tied? He fucking...
So by taking his trousers off and letting it all flow free,
No, he didn't actually.
He
He
could
didn't
whip
actually
across
do
the
that.
fucking over to a tree.
Well, he
faster
tripped
than
him over with it.
faster than a
Tripped
horse.
him over with it.
Tripped who over? With
Tripped the
what?
horse over with it.
With
His dick.
ah.
Out.
Wait, what? So
What?
How the fuck? How
They tied?
How did he tie a horse? How did he tie with a horse?
He just ran.
with
I
what?
suppose with his legs. yeah, with his legs, dude. The horse must have fell over when it ran around the
Highly
tree.
speculative of the events of the above. You say you found this on Reddit?
Yes, it was a story. It was pretty poorly worded, to be fair, some of it, but still.
Go on then.
Let's
hear about
they
these
tied.
rapscallions.
That's possible. They tied.
I'm sure it is.
On another occasion, so this is where the title comes from. Today I learned.
Yes.
Always.
What did you learn?
Always go narrow. I think it was. Oh, narrow is the way to go. That's it. Essentially, I have lost my place.
That's okay.
Can we cut this out?
No.
So after he tied that race with the horse, on another occasion, Mr. Bullock, a local butcher for some reason, challenged
Okay.
him to a race, a 100-yard race, but he had to let Mr. Bullock go 35 yards ahead to start with. So like a 35-yard
Wait
on
a
the
minute.
100-yard race.
Wait a
He accepted. But allowed Mr. Bullock, they essentially said, I'll race you if you can
A
give me a
butcher man.
35-yard head start.
It's not fair.
Well,
I need give me a head start.
but
Yes.
the fatal mistake that he made was that he let Mr.
That he took his
Bullock,
trousers off and had his dick swinging.
but he allowed Mr. Bullock to choose the race course. So he allowed Mr. Bullock to essentially just choose where
going
they
to
run,
race.
where they race
Through this river.
through hell. Bye. Being a larger man himself, he chose one of Brighton's narrowest lanes. So while Richard managed to catch up to him, he couldn't pass him and eventually lost.
Oh, God.
He lost the race.
This sounds fixed to me.
No.
Let's go in the narrowest place possible.
Yeah. Well, no, it was obviously fixed. He chose it. Mr. Bullock, he chose
That's
it so he
what I
could win.
mean. Yeah. This sounds awful. Rubbish. Very unsportsmanlike. Very un-Earl-ish.
Unfortunately, Richard fell on hard times after this.
Just fell really hard on some hard
Well, he
stuff.
couldn't get past him, so he bumped off him and fell over. No, he fell on some hard financial times, owning another theatre in Savile Row, London, and a new townhouse in London after becoming MP of Heytesbury.
I think you mean mup.
Is it am or fum?
He's the of what?
After becoming the of Heytesbury in Wiltshire.
That sounds very
And marrying Charlotte Clauding,
fun.
Golding, Clothing, Charlotte Golding,
Yes.
niece of Lady Lade.
Lady Lade.
Lady Lade.
Lady Lade.
Or Lady Lade. I don't know, Lady Lade. So essentially he fell on hard times, became the Prime Minister for some reason, because apparently they couldn't get arrested at the time. Not Prime Minister.
Because they were MPs?
Member of Parliament, sorry. He became a Member of
He
Parliament.
became a
He became a mup. So essentially,
one and complete
he can't be
and
arrested.
utter
Muppet. But apparently they can't get arrested, so he became an MP.
So he could just continue being a complete and utter dick.
In debt, essentially.
A debt. Full dick.
I think.
A dick in debt.
But
a complete and utter knob. I don't
tradesmen would refuse to deliver for him. And he was hit with several legal actions.
Good.
Not sure what for, but, he was hit with a lot of shit. That's
so
when
he's fallen over, he's been hit. What next?
Well, he didn't actually fall over, I'm joking. I was joking about that. He just fell on hard financial times.
We are over. You lied to me.
That's when they seized his first theatre, so they repossessed his theatre, selling the fixtures and fittings and demolishing it completely.
Good.
Selling his racehorse.
Oh,
You remember back to the start when he
doesn't need
races?
it anyway. He can fucking...
No. He tried to stay optimistic and joined the Royal Berkshire Militia. So he went in the fucking army.
Full of optimism.
Where he got involved in the French Revolution and was sent to Rye in Sussex to help strengthen the coastal defence.
That doesn't sound like France.
It doesn't really, does it? He was placed in charge of 16 French prisoners. So had to keep his rifle loaded at all times.
Just in case he needed to be
Shot.
a dick.
One day while leaving an inn, he kissed the landlady goodbye, climbed into their horse-drawn carriage. But that is when he dropped his gun.
What an idiot.
Which accidentally went off and shot himself through the eye.
Oh, I appear to have blasted my own eyeball.
Wounding himself and dying 40 minutes later.
Oh,
unfortunately.
I appear to be dying 40 minutes later.
But if you think you can take out a loan and be rid of it once you're dead, his friends brought him back to Wargrave piece by piece.
Good. What?
I don't even want to know, but they brought him back piece by piece.
What happened? Did he explode?
It was because of the debtors, like to avoid the debtors.
Oh, they just...
From seizing his body.
Wait.
Due to his huge amounts of debt, his friends had to bring him back to Wargrave piece by piece, dude.
We've totally fooled them. He's steak now.
He was buried on Sunday where there could be no any arrests. There could not be any arrests.
There could be no any arrests.
No any arrests.
At the absolute end.
But that was when there could be no arrests, essentially. That story ends. It's a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest. That one actually.
It was a bit. It went all over the fucking shop.
It did.
There was racing. There was old twats.
But the best part is, did you have fun during that one?
It was very entertaining. We both just looked at the screen to check we were still recording, because
see how
that would
long
be
it's been
fucking
going.
terrible if you'd forgotten to record all of that.
And last but definitely not least, this final clip comes from episode 17, where we discuss our favourite Colombian mayor, Antanas Mockus, and his completely unorthodox way of preventing motorist fatalities.
Shut up.
Today I learned about saving lives with mimes. Now, what do you think about that one?
Touching back on our previous episode of the
Yes.
master mime.
Of the master mime from, I think it was 2 episodes ago, I think. Was it episode...
No, I've slipped since then.
Yeah. It was...
I think it was 15.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it was episode 15 where we talked about Penis Man. So...
It was Marionette Man and...
Well, Marionette Man was the one that was...
The mime that always screamed what he was doing.
Yeah. Box!
I'm trapped in a box!
Ah! Where's the door? It's disappeared. That was the guy going after Penis Man.
Oh,
we
yeah,
had
it
the
was.
marionette guy going around the corner and getting stuck. Oh, fuck it.
It was a saga.
So yeah, if you want to listen to the saga of Penis Man, go back to episode 15. Without any further ado, let's move on to our current mimes. So this is in the Colombian capital of Bogota. I think it's Bogota.
Sounds cool.
The mayor at the time, Antanas Mockus. I'm really struggling already.
Is either there's no I in there, is there? So it's not Antonia. No, it's
Antanas Mockus. He was actually a mathematician and philosopher and had no political experience. And was elected in 1995.
I just showed up.
Hey, heard you need a mayor.
They put a gold chain around my neck and called me the mayor.
I was really high. So I said yes. So with the Harvard baguette, I want to say.
With a Harvard baguette.
The Harvard baguette, no, the Harvard Gazette, saying Bogota was choked with violence, had lawless traffic, corruption, and gangs of street children who mugged and stole. So during his 2 terms, non-consecutive, I don't know when the second one, like I did go on the Wikipedia and it did say from 1995 to 1997. So
A short stint.
A very short stint, but I don't think that was it. I think he did longer than that because it says non-consecutive, so it couldn't have been the 2 years together. So
He did like a year and then took a year off and then came back for another year.
Well, that's what I want to think. But
Or he was just in and out constantly.
I hope he was just in and out
I
constantly.
just forgot something. I'll be back in 2 months.
Oh yeah, here's a new policy. Bye. So he tried the unexpected to get unexpected results. When there was a water shortage, he appeared on TV taking a shower and turning off the shower when he was lathering up. He then asked his people to do the same. And this actually lowered water consumption by 14% until people realized how much they were saving on bills. Then it went down to 40%. It went down by 40%. So it worked. So success.
So he was essentially like giving them a time limit on the show. It was kind of like, do everything with me and we're going to do this nice and quick. And then everyone out the shower.
Oh, I don't think it was like an 8 o'clock everyone has to be in the shower.
Oh, I would have
with
done
me.
like a TV broadcast and there was a TV screen in the shower and you had to shower with me.
Just loads of people getting electrocuted.
Scrub for the dear leader.
I'm doing it. Did you get behind your ears?
You shut them off.
Oh my god. Oh, so close. He says, knowledge empowers people. If people knew the rules and are sensitized by art, humor, and creativity, they are much more likely to accept change. So that was a raging success. 40% lower on bills. Tick, cha-ching.
If you can generally give people things to be happy about, then
Exactly, using less water and using less of the monies. He also gave out 350,000 cards with thumbs up and thumbs down on them. They were essentially to approve and disapprove of citizens' behaviour. So if you saw somebody being a dick, you just walk up to them with a red thumb.
card.
Yeah, fuck you.
Off.
I mean, you wouldn't say that. You just
On the
hold up
bench.
the card. Get off my street. So they were actively and surprisingly, used and surprisingly peaceful. No,
It kind of sounds like a rating system on the phone, though,
Yes,
with like
it is.
the 5 stars and stuff.
it is, and I think it was just a way to. I think he said it was
Around with a hat that they can put them in your brim so everyone can see all your down thumbs.
well, it's like you have one on the back of your head, which is the red one, and then the one on the front, which is the green. So if you like someone, you look at them. If you don't, you just
Look
turn your
away.
head around. Howard, why are you turning away from?
Oh.
But yeah, so they were used surprisingly peacefully and actively. So another tick for our main man Marcus. He also had people call in when they had a good taxi driver. 150 people called in about good taxi drivers. He then rounded them all up and asked them how to tackle the mean taxi drivers.
Oh.
Calling it the Knights of the Zebra.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Just kill them.
Yeah, we just showed them. I mean, to be fair,
Just taxi wars in the streets.
wow. Taxidermy.
You mind if I take a little detour here? I got to take out some competition.
Rate me 5 stars.
5 stars, please. And have a nice day.
I mean, it probably would cause sort of a taxi battle, a taxi war, because then you'd just be like, oh, well, these guys are dickheads. I'm just going to run them off the road.
Feel like Burnout with taxis, just like fucking slamming people off the road.
What do you mean, like Burnout? It was.
It was Burnout. What do you think Burnout was based on?
Colombia. He also initiated a night for women. This is where more than 700,000 women went out for the it was on the first 3 nights of this thing. 700,000 women went out with 1,500 women police in charge of the Bogota security.
So
essentially,
was it like, men go home for the night?
while men would stay home and look after the family.
Okay.
So this came about when Florence Thomas, a feminist and professor at Columbia National University, pointed out that women were scared to go out at night. To which Marcus said, at that time, we were also looking for what would be the best image for the city. And I realized that if we see women with streets with many women, you feel safer. So
and we thought cages for the men was a bit extreme.
yeah, and we also put them on leashes. It didn't really give us the best image. Got a few more tourists, though. Very weird.
Come see our guys.
And
Have a
gay old
time.
But so the men staying at home wasn't actually mandatory though. It was voluntary.
It was suggestive.
Yeah, it was voluntary.
Yeah.
And if they couldn't bear to stay inside during the 6 hours, they were asked to carry a self-styled safe conduct pass. So I don't know what that exactly means. I assume they just got a crayon and drew "I am safe" on their little conduct card and had to show it to police.
Well, I suppose if they didn't have like a criminal record or something, they could just apply for one of these, I suppose. So they could just walk the streets and be like, "I'm a good guy."
Yeah, probably. Oh, you just had a cape with S on the back for safe. And then you also have the green and the
Not
red.
super dangerous.
Oh God, this country sounds really confusing. You've got, oh shit, you could have super dangerous people who have black and red capes or something just as the S on it, and it's like, I'm super dangerous. And then the one with the blue and red, I'm super safe. And then that causes a riot.
I'm colorblind.
I can't tell who's good and not.
I'm going home.
People getting stabbed up. Are you good? So with this one, you also just had 200,000 men going out that I did there.
Start again.
Keep that in. Only 200,000 men went out that night. I did put that night, but it was a 3 night, so I don't know if that was spread over the 3. It may be. Past me, check that. Thank you.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I'll call back to a future fact that something will happen with that. You'll get it later. Timestamp. It won't happen. With some calling Marcus a clown on TV. And with this approach of unexpectedness, he tried to tackle traffic fatalities by hiring 20 mimes. They would be used to improve both traffic and citizens' behaviour by following pedestrians who didn't follow crossing rules. So granted, there's 20 in the capital. So that's not a lot. You'd get one on like every street.
It's not like a lot of people, but when
well,
they'll get around. They're mimes.
Well, what they would do
They could mime drive into the scene.
Well, they've just hired screaming mimes. You fucking suck! While holding up the red card. They would track and mock pedestrians who ran across streets going, "What kind of a run is that?" Oh no, they wouldn't speak. They'd just walk up to them and trip them over.
Slap them in the face.
Yeah.
I'm miming slapping you.
Ow! While also poking fun at reckless drivers. I don't know how they did this.
Just jumped in front of them. I'm a victim!
They're just stuntmen as well. Mockers thought that people would be more receptive to mocking than a fine, which I can see. I think I'd rather have a private fine than someone calling me a dickhead on the street.
Yeah, people don't. Yeah, people. One of the last things people want. People are quite happy being reprimanded, but people don't like to be humiliated.
Yeah. It's in. If you've ever read the book, How to Gain, I think it's Gain Friends and Influence People or something like that by Dale Carnegie. He does say about that you should shame people in private and praise them in public. Yeah, because it does lower a lot of morale if you do it. You do it in front of a lot of people. You lose respect.
You lose respect of because you'd look like an asshole
of your fellow drivers as you hit that tree. He said it was a pacifist counterweight with neither words nor weapons. The mimes were doubly unarmed. My goal was to show the importance of cultural regulations. The program became so successful and popular, actually reducing traffic fatalities by more than 50% from 1,300 per year to 600. So this guy's fucking on a roll.
Yeah. So how was he only in for 2 years in and out?
Well, I think he went to run for president. Okay. I'm not sure how that went for him. It may have gone well. Who knows? You will have to look into that. I'm sorry I did not gain that information. And they hired an extra 400 mimes, making a grand total of 420 mimes. The perfect number. And lastly, he would also wear a cape and call himself Super Citizen.
So we were halfway there.
Yes. So he's super dangerous. I mean, super citizen.
Super safe.
Yeah, super safe citizen, dangerous. So that's our man Marcus, our Colombian president. Mayo president. And that'll do it for this week of the Clueless Internet podcast. You can check out all the links and everything at cluelessinter.net. You can follow us on Twitter at cluelessnet. Email us anything you fancy. I mean, not anything. Not not anything, but, email us some interesting shit that we can potentially talk about on one of our episodes. Podcast@cluelessinter.net. We'll be streaming over on twitch.tv/cluelessinternet. As I mentioned previously, you can join the Discord server. Link will be in the description. And we'll be back next week with some 3 real, 3 fake recaps. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.